can see. I think it actually looks doper than this. I don't know. I think I improved their website by adding this this section. Okay, they have like this lame stuff, and we in our clone we have this cool slider kind of effect on the side, right? So I think it's cool. It's a win both ways. Okay. Hello everyone, how you guys doing? I'm Ninja Coder, and today we're going to be cloning this very popular meme coin, PEPE coin. Okay, so we're just going to go through the website. We can see it's very neat, very clean, and it has so many amazing features. If I just refresh the page, we're going to see some of them. You can see the way the effects are being loaded. We're going to be doing all of this with Framer motion and some really good React snippets. Okay, so we're going to go and do that right now. So if you want to follow along with the video, just make sure you like and you subscribe. If you don't have the time to follow along with the video and you just need the code, just hit the link in the description. The link to the code will be there. Okay. Thank you very much. It helps support the channel. Let's get into it. Okay, so what I want you to do is create a folder for yourself. Type in npx create react app. I've already done that to make the video go faster. After that, I want you to install Tailwind CSS, which you can do with this command by going over to the Tailwind website. It's very simple. You run this command. After this command, you run this command, okay? And after you've done that, as you can see, is what I did. I ran this, and after I ran this, okay? Then you have to go to your Tailwind config file and copy this content here and replace it over here, okay? So once you've done that, you're good to go. So let's npm start. Okay, so now that we have a React code up and running, we're just going to go to our source folder, hide this console, and we're going to delete everything we don't need, okay? So we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need app CSS, so one CSS is okay. Over here, we're going to delete this, remove this, remove this, remove this. Okay, so everything's working properly. All right, perfect. So now, when we look at this site, we can see the background color is green. It's a green color, right? So that's something we have to look at to work on. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our code. We're going to go to index CSS, and we have to get rid of all of this. And in our Tailwind instruction, it says we need to put this code in our index file, okay? And we need to also check if our Tailwind CSS is working, okay? So we're going to say bg red 100, okay? We're going to come back here. So we can see it is definitely working, all right? So now we're going to go back to our code, our index, and we're going to work on the body a bit. So we're going to say body, we're going to say font family. We're going to say shake hand. So this is the font we're going to be using. Okay. Then we're also going to go to Google Fonts. Okay, so I was trying to look for the font that they were using, like this font here specifically. I couldn't find it. So what I did was that I just used something similar to it. So we're just going to use that. All right, so this is what we're going to use. Okay, so we're going to get the code, and we're going to be using this import statement. We're going to copy this. We're going to copy this. Okay, then we're going to go back to our code and place it here. All right, so now that we've done with that, we're going to say color, so white. Then we're going to say font style, say normal. Then we're also going to see the background color. We're going to see RGB 76 149. I'm going to say 64. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's take a look. All right, exactly as we want it. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our app JSX. We're going to delete this, and we're going to remove this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to code, we're going to come over here and we're going to see component. Okay, then we're going to create a file called navbar.js, refce navbar. Okay, so now in our navbar, we're going to say div class name going to say shadow to XL. The reason we're saying shadow to XL because we're trying to copy this. So I'm just going to scroll this down so we can see what we are copying as we're doing it. Okay, so we're going to say border because it has a border at the bottom, right? We're going to say border B1. Then we're going to say the border should be black, right? Okay, then let's just say hello, yeah. And let's check how this is looking. All right, so navbar. Okay, so we're not seeing anything yet. So what we're going to do, we're just going to come here. We're going to say div class name. We're going to say mx auto, mx with 5xl. So yeah, we're saying the max speed should be 5xl. And once again, say u class name. Say flex pro space x5. That's the space between each items. Let's say py10. I'm going to save this to make it more organized. And the first list is going to be this logo, right? So we're going to say li, and we're going to say image source. We're going to come here. We're going to copy image address of this and place it here. We're going to say class name. We're going to say the width should be 40. Okay, so let's see how this looks. All right, so you can see that's looking perfect. Okay, perfect. Now we have these other things to do. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come here. So we need other list items. So li class name, and the first one is home, right? So over here we're going to say text XL, right? I'm going to say text white. Then the margin left should be 5. MY auto. We're saying MY auto so it's in the middle. Okay. So if we come here and we remove this MY auto, we'll see it goes up. So we're going to say MY auto. So now we're going to replicate this for all of this, okay? But we don't want to be typing out the class name like this. So what we're going to copy this. We're going to come to our index. We're going to say at layer component. Then we're going to do this. Say nav component. Okay, so we're using dot nav components. Let's apply. I'm going to paste this. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to come back here. I'm going to delete this. You can see it looks different. So we're going to say nav underscore component. All right, perfect. So now we're just going to duplicate this and then come here and this. To mix. Okay, so that is done. So we're going to delete this rest. Then we also have a button over here which is showing by now, this button over here, and we have to also replicate that. Okay, so what we're going to do, come to our navbar, and we're going to just use the same li. Okay, so we're going to say class name, say border 1, and border white through px10 my auto py3 padding at the top and bottom. You're going to say flex end to be at the end. So inside you're going to say bold class name. I'm going to say by now. Okay, so perfect. That's exactly what we want. But we still have some work to do on this. Here I want us to say flex 1. here. Let's see BG red. Let's see the total. So we can see the width over here. So this isn't actually going to the end like we want it to. So we have to fix that. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do over here, we have flex end, which is not responding to that code. Let's see. We're going to come here. Class name. We'll say flex one. All right. Perfect. So now we're going to delete this. All right. This is okay now. All right. So we're going to go to the other sections. Going to go to this section here. So we're going to come back to our code, close the navbar, and we're going to come to the component, and we're going to say hero section.js. Okay. Okay. In this hero section, we're going to say refce. Okay. So we're going to our app, and we're going to say hero section. All right. Perfect. Okay. So let's check that. Okay. It's working perfectly. So now we'll come over here. Okay, so here we can see we have this background cow something in the background, right? So we need to get this background right? So what we're going to do, we're going to come to our code. Okay, I need to increase the height of this. So we're going to come to our code. I'm going to say constant background equals to, say content. Okay, I'm going to say right. Let's say bottom. Then the background image. Okay, so in the background image, we're going to say URL like this, though. Let's do it like this. Okay, so we need to get this background guy here. So we need to inspect to see how we can get him. Okay, perfect. See him here. So we're going to copy this. I'm going to put it here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that we've put him there, we're going to say background size. And we're going to say cover. Okay, then we're going to say background position. I'm going to say center. Then we're going to say opacity, because you can see it's a bit faint, it's not showing too strongly. So we're going to say opacity 0.2. Then we're going to say transition. Then we're going to say z index -1 to make sure it is behind the content. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to name this background style. Okay, then I'm going to come over to this div and say, okay, no, I'm going to create another div. I'm going to say style equals to background style. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, so now we're going to close this and we're going to refresh this site. So when we refresh, you can see the animation being done. This is coming from this side, this is coming from this side, right? Perfect. So we're going to be using Framer motion, okay, to do this effect. If you don't know Framer motion, something as a React developer you should know. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so we're going to say G, we're going to say C. Let's go back. Let's copy. Okay, so while that is installing, we can just take a look at Framer motion, how we can use it, and some of the effects. You can see scaling here. Wow, tap. Is this for tap? So in your free time, I would like you to try and go through the Framer Motion website. You can learn a lot using it. Okay. So now that we've installed this, we're going to clear this. We're going to say npm start. Okay, we can see our background guy. He's over here. He seems a bit too big. Let's work on that. So the background size is cover. So no, let's see fit. No, let's see background size options. Okay, let's see some of the options we can do for background size. Okay, so we have cover contain. Um, let's try contain and see. See what we get. Okay, so we're seeing it repeating, so we need to stop that repeat. Repeat. Okay, see here. So we're going to say background repeat, no repeat. Okay. Okay, so we can see it's not repeating. And it's not starting from where we want it to start. You can see this one is starting from the edge here, right? This one is starting here, and I think because we're seeing background position center, so let's see background position left. Okay, perfect. You can see that looks so much better. Though their own cow has like more stuff, ours doesn't have more much stuff on it like that. But I think this is okay. This is okay. This is good. So let's work with this, okay? Right, because you can see this is exactly what we get. So I don't know, maybe the image we are using is not the same. I don't really know, but I think it's okay. I think we can work with this, okay? So let's go on to this side, all right? So let's close this hero section. Okay, nice. All right, so we've done the background, and we're going to create another div. So we're still going to be working with Max with 5XL. So we're going to say MX Auto, Flex, Ooh, padding top 48. Okay, so here is going to be our section 1. We're going to have a div. I'm going to say P class name. We're going to say text 5XL, and I'm going to say italic, and I'm going to say PEPE. Right, so let's see how it looks like. And so our PEPE here. Our opacity is being affected. Okay, so I made a mistake here. We're not supposed to have this being contained. This is just a standalone div, so that it doesn't affect what is inside as well. Okay, so that is done. We've done our title. Now we need to do our write-up. Okay, so the write-up here, the most we'll just copy this. I'm going to just copy that. We're going to come here, down. We're going to say P. We're going to paste it. Then we're going to say class name. We're going to say text 3XL. Then we're going to say font mono, and then font light, and then leading 20. All right, so let's look at this. Okay, so this looks nice. This looks nice. Now we're going to work on our Framer motion for this. So what we're going to do, we're going to say import motion from Framer motion. Okay, so in this Peter, we're going to say motion. Okay, we're going to say initial. Initially, we want it to an opacity of 0. We don't want it to be visible initially, right? And then on the x-axis, we want it to be minus 200. Okay, then we're going to say animate opacity to be 1. Okay, and then we're going to say x to be 0. All right, then we're going to say transition. We're going to say duration of the animation should be 1.5 seconds, and we're going to say ease let's use linear. Okay, then we're going to say delay. We're going to say delay 0.3, and we're going to say bounce dampening. We're going to use 10, and we're going to use bounce stiffness of 600. Okay, so let's see how that works. Let's refresh this. Perfect. You can see it's coming from here to here, right? But over in this side here, right? If you refresh this page, you can see the animation. If you scroll down, right? If you scroll back up, scroll down, scroll back up, the animation is not, it only shows one time and then it goes away, right? But in this our side that we're doing, I want it to show the animation anytime the user scrolls to that section. Okay, this is what I mean. I want you guys to like properly understand this. Okay, so we're going to say br, no, we're going to say div with a class name. We're going to give it a height of 300 px. Okay, so you can see now we can scroll down, right? If we scroll back up, we are not triggering the animation again. The animation does one time and that's all. But we don't want it to be like so. We want it that anytime the user scrolls to that section, the animation occurs. Now in Framer Motion, you can use something called use in view. It's a hook in Framer Motion that allows us to check when the user is in view of that section, play the animation, right? So that's what we want to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the hero section, and in this motion that we have here, we're going to import use in view. Okay, so then we're going to go down here and we're going to say constant ref equals to use ref. Okay, why are we using use ref here? Very simple. That's because how does the use in view know that the user is currently viewing this section of the page? We have to tag this div with a ref. Okay, and that ref is going to be this. So now we can now say constant is in view, right, to be used in view of that ref. Okay, so now anytime this div is in view, this value will be true. Anytime this div is not in view, this value will be false. Let's check that out. Let's say console.log is in view. Okay, so when we come here, we're going to inspect and we check our console, so you can see true, right? It's in view. But once we go out, you can see it changes to false. But once we come back, it changes to true. So perfect. That is exactly what we need right now, right? So now that we've gotten that, how can we now make our animation trigger when this thing is in view? So all we can do is you can see in this opacity, we're going to say is in view b1. If it's not in view, b0 again. Okay, so same with the x, is in view 0. If it's not in view, b minus 200. Okay, so now you can see the animation just played. If we scroll down and we scroll back up, the animation replays again. If we scroll down and then we scroll back up, the animation replays again. So that's how we want it to. We want it to be that every time the user scrolls to that section of the website, the animation is triggered, right? So that's exactly what we want to do. So we've done that, and now we can continue with our styling, right? So now we need to work on this social media icons, right? So we go back here and we come down. So over here, we're going to say a p tag, and we're going to say class name flex oh, let's say margin top and bottom 10. Okay, so now we're going to be using components. We're going to come to this component. We're going to create a new folder, the elements. In this element, we're going to create a new file called social icons, right? .js. Okay, so let's just check this is playing. Okay, perfect. All right, so social icons. So we're going to say FCE. Okay, so that's done. So in these social icons, we're going to get in two things from our props, the URL and is in view. Okay, so here we're going to say import motion, because we're also going to be using motion for this from Framer Motion. Okay, so what's the animation we're getting here? See, the animation is just, it's scaling from 0 to its normal scale, right? So we're going to work on that. So over here in the social media icons, we're going to remove this div and we're going to say motion dot image. All right, we're going to say initial The initial should be scale 0. Let's close this so we can write this better. Okay, so the initial is scale 0, and then we'll say animate. So this animate, we're going to say scale is in view. So if it's in view, scale to 1. If it's not in view, scale back to 0. Then we're going to say transition. Okay, so we're going to be using the same transition effects that we're using here. We're just going to copy this and paste here. And then we're going to say source should be URL. And then we're also going to say alt, social icon. Then we're going to say class name. I'm going to say width of 20, height of 20, and margin right 3. Okay, perfect. So now that we go back here, we're going to say for our first social icons, we need a URL, and we need is in view. It's just is in view. Okay, so what's our URL? We need this image URL, so we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it here. We're going to save that and we're going to look at ours. Okay, so our one is not working right now. Let's check our code, our social media icon code. So we have the scale. Okay, here we didn't type that properly. Okay, you can see, beautiful. All right, so that's perfect. So go back here. What we're going to do, we're just going to take this and we're going to duplicate it, and then we're going to come back here, copy this, come here, paste, come here, copy this, the third one, and paste, copy this, come to the fourth one, paste, copy this, the fifth one, and paste, and then copy this. Okay, so we don't need this extra one. So let's check our code. Okay, perfect. Works perfectly. Now we need to replicate this big head over here. So we're going to copy this image and we're going to go back to our code. So we have in this div, right? So close this div, start another div. Should we start another div or should we just use an image? Which one, guys? Which one, guys? So we're going to use a div. So we're going to say motion.div. Okay. And then we're going to say image source. Class name, we're going to say my auto. And then the alt, we're going to say hero. Okay. And then we're going to save. So in this motion div space, we're going to say initial. Okay, equals to opacity. So what we're going to do, we're just going to copy the one here, right? So we're going to come here, delete this, and then here instead of minus it's going to be 200. So let's see it in action. Beautiful, beautiful. Wait, hold on. Okay, if you go scroll down, right, and you scroll back up, you can see it's coming from here. So why is it doing like it's doing like this? Because in this place here in the animate, we said if it's in view, initially it starts with this, but if you leave the screen and you come back, it works with this. So it's using this value from here. So we need to remove the minus and then reload this. So if we scroll down and we scroll back up, it works perfectly. Okay, great. So now the next thing that we're working on is this section over here. Okay, so we scroll back to our page and we're going to delete this. Flex, close this. Okay, so we're going to open a new one. Here we're going to say div class name. We're going to say max width 5xl and max auto. Right. Then we're going to say div class name flex row. Then we're going to say gap 10. Okay, so we're going to create a new element and we're going to name it hero pieces. Don't mind me. I'm kind of like very bad with naming. Okay, so just like bear with me. Okay, RFCE. Okay, so here we're going to import motion straight away. Okay, so here we're going to get 3 items from our props: title, URL, and is in view. Okay, perfect. So now, in our code, we're going to remove this div, and we're going to say motion.span initial equals to scale x. Why are we saying scale x? Now, if you look at this animation here, you can see it's scrolling from here and here to here. Okay, so we're only going to work on the scaling of the x value, the horizontal value. Okay, we're not going to work with the scale of the y, the vertical and just the horizontal angle. Okay, I hope you guys did your geography when you were in school, because like coding is just basically like math sometimes. All right, so math or geography, yeah, I know. So animate equals to scale x, then is in view 1 0. Okay, so what we're going to close this so that we can work with it better. So after the animate, we're going to transition. So in our transition, we're going to change things up. We're going to say duration equals 0 0.7, 7/10 of a second. Okay, so we're going to say is linear. Then we're going to say delay. Now, why are we setting this delay? We're setting the delay like when the div is in view, we don't want the animation to start immediately. We want it to be delayed by 1 second. Okay, so then we're going to say bounce dampening. The reason why we don't want the animation to all look similar. I want the first this first part to start, and then after a second delay, then this section will now start being animated, right? So bounce dampening, we're going to say 10. Then we're going to say bounce stiffness. We're going to say 600. Okay. Then we're going to say class name over 50. Okay, px10. Then we're going to say py2. Then we're going to say text for Excel flex 1 and justify center. Okay, so over here we didn't spell opacity, right? Okay, perfect. Now that we've animated the span, we're also going to animate the images within. Like if we see here, let's refresh this page. You can see there's an animation of the images themselves. There's also animation of this and the container itself. So we're animating the entire thing, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to come over to this hero section. Okay, and then we're going to then we're going to say title equals to, then we're going to say URL, then we're going to say is in view. Okay, all right, perfect. Then we're going to take this, duplicate it to 3. I'm going to say break line, and then we're going to duplicate all this. Okay, perfect. So you can see our animation is already working with 1 second delay. Perfect. So now in the title and everything, let's fill that up. So title here, Germany. So we can see, how do we type so we can see everything here? Okay, perfect. So here in our title, Binance Crypto.com, HTX, Bybit, OKX. Then here, CB Wallet, here, KuCoin, Uniswap. Okay, so now we also need the URL of these images. So come here, copy image address. Come here, copy image address. Now we'll come here. Can't select it, so we're just going to open here and say crypto.com. I'm going to search crypto.com logo, and we're going to go to images. Then we're going to pick an image. This one looks okay. Okay, perfect. Then what we are going to do, so we can be seeing some of these things. Let's come over here and animate the image, so we can be seeing this. Let's say motion.url. Sorry, image. Let's say source. On the left 4. Okay, margin left 4. Then we're also going to say animate bounce, because I want it to be bouncing. Then rounded 4. Okay, so then we also want to add the initial. I think we're just going to go with this. Let's put that here. Then our scale, instead of scale X, we're going to say opacity here as well. Okay. Then transition duration, we want this to be 1. So it takes longer. Instead of linear, we want it to be ease out. Okay. Then the delay, we want it to take 2 seconds. Okay, so that's perfect. So you can see it's bouncing. Let's just see the animation for it. Okay, perfect. All right, so now that we've done that, so we can be seeing the image. Let's also do the title, so that we can also be seeing the title, right? So let's come here and say emotion dot bold. And then here we're going to say title. Right, then here we're going to see, we're just going to copy this. Okay, duration 1, delay 2. I think this is okay. All right, so let's look at this. Perfect. All right, now we need to work on the icons. Okay, so let's come here. Hero section. Bybit. Okay, perfect. So here, I think everything is working perfectly. So we can see the size is looking really, really neat, really, really nice. Beautiful. If you've made it up to this part of the video, please make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. It really, really helps boost the channel. Okay, thank you everyone. So let's go to the second part. Now we're going to work on this. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this specific thing that was being used. So what I did was that we're going to do like a slider kind of. So we're going to come over to our code. Okay, before we go to code, we're going to say fastmarq react. Okay, so over here, fastmarq, and we're going to copy this over to our code. install it. Okay, then we're going to say npm star. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that we have it, I believe we're done with our hero section. We're done with this. We're done with this. What we want to work on now is something for here, and have something like really special in mind. So, what we're going to do, we're going to come over here. I'm going to create a new component. I'm going to call that component slider.js. Okay, then we're going to say refce and slider. Then we're going to import marquee from React Fast. Okay, so here we're going to just delete this. Then we're going to now see marquee, and in this place here we're going to create a new folder. We're going to say slider image.js. Okay. Okay, so over here we're going to say span class name. We're going to say flex row my20. Then here we're going to say image source. We're going to get the first image from here. We're going to get this guy. I'm going to use him. I'm going to say class name. I'm going to say width 6. I'm going to say alt marquee. Okay, then we're going to put like a hyphen here, and then we're going to duplicate this. Let's do 4 times. Then we're going to copy this guy. We're going to put him here because it looks something similar to the first one. Okay, then we're going to look for other things we can copy. This, we're going to copy this. We're going to put it here. Then we're going to copy the logo. We're going to put it here. All right, perfect. So we're going to come to slider and we're going to say slider image. I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to save. Then in our app, we're going to delete this. We're just going to say slider. Okay, perfect. Okay, so see what we got here. I thought it was really nice. You can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this image, and this one I'm going to say is height. Okay, perfect. You can see. I think it actually looks doper than this. I don't know. I think I improved their website by adding this this section. Okay, they have like this lame stuff. We in our clone we have this cool slider kind of effect on the side, right? So I think it's cool. It's a win both ways. Okay. All right. So let's go. This section now. So we go over to our code. We close this. We close this. Close this. So in our components, we're going to create a new file. We're going to say section 1.js refce section 1. Okay. All right. So in our section 1, what are we going to do here? We need to copy some certain things from the previous section, this hero section here. What do we need to copy? We need to copy this section 1. Then we need to go back. We need to copy this, so I know whether it's in view or not. Okay. Then in our div, we need to do the ref to be ref. Okay. So I think then we need to also import this, and I think we're done. All right. So perfect. All right. So now in our second component, we have this guy. Make meme coins great again. I think kind of like throwback to Trump. So we have a ref, and here we're going to say, we're going to style this. We're going to say class name. We're going to say max width 5xl. Then we're going to say mx auto. Then we're going to say my36. And here we're going to say div class name flex row. going to say motion dot image. Then initial. So we're going to go to here. I'm going to copy to make our work go much faster. Copy this. Come here. We're gonna close this. Paste this. Okay, so we want 100. We want 100. Okay, so our opacity is okay. Duration 1.5. We have our delay instead of 3. We want it to be 5. Bounce dampening. All right. So here we're not going to put this. Let's remove this. So here we're going to say source. Okay. Then we're going to say alt. Section 1. Then we're going to say class name. Say width 100%. So the next one, we'll say div. Div class name. Say flex 1 as well. So here we're going to say motion h2. Then in the title we're just going to say about. Then here we're going to say class name, text center, text to Excel. All right, so we're going to copy this. All right, so here instead of minus, we're going to just be 100. Okay, then h2. We also have to animate our p tag. But what we're going to do, we're going to say motion dot div. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so in this about, let's see. Let me see this. No, we can't see this yet. So we'll go to here and let's see section 1. Okay, so section 1. Okay, so over here you see the about and the write up are like moving together. We don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do, we're just going to copy this first and work on that. We have our about, we have our section 2. Here we don't want it to move the same way that this is doing, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to change this to the y-axis. I'm going to make this 50. I'm going to make this, okay, no, I'm going to make this minus 50. Let's see that. No, not here. You can see it's coming from the top, right, to the bottom. So that's what we want. We want it to be different, okay, from that about. So we're going to work on that still. Okay, that's better. So here in this div, we have p tag, class name my10, font mono, and we have text to be Excel. So then we are just going to copy this and duplicate it. Come here, copy this, and I'm going to paste it here. Let's check our own. This is our own. So I think this is looking good. Let's see how it animates. Perfect. So you can see that it's looking clean and nice. So what we're going to go to our apps, copy the slider, put another slider at the bottom. Boom. Wow, everything is looking so good, right, guys? So good, right? Okay, so now we need to animate this section, but this section has like something to it. You can see how it's typing, though it's typing like really fast. All right, so you can see the way it's typing, right? So we're going to have to like work on that to make ours have the same kind of like effect. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our code. We're going to create a new section and call it section 2.js, right? So we're going to say RAFCE and section 2, right? Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to copy those things that we had from here. So we're just going to copy this. Then we're going to come back and copy this. Okay. Then here we're going to say ref, right? Perfect. So now that we have that, we're going to start working on the div here. Okay. So we're going to style it. We're going to say class name. We're going to say max width 6XL MX02. And we say margin Y36, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so here we're going to say motion H2. And we're going to pretty much steal this. So we have the Y minus 50. We're still using the Y here, minus 50 linear delay. Okay, perfect. So we're going to say class name. We're going to say text center. We're going to say text 7XL. I'm going to write here how to buy. Okay, and then in our elements, we're going to create a file. We're going to say card.js, ifce card. Then our card is going to collect parameters like title, description. It's going to collect URL, is in view, and it's going to collect speed. Okay. This card element is pretty much just this. That's just what it is. So we're going to do the typewriter effect that everything is like typing, but ours is going to be like much better than this site. Okay, so let's leave that site alone. Let's work on ours. Ours is going to look much better. So let's come here and work on our card. So over here we're going to okay. So over here we're going to create a file called typewriter effect.js. Okay, so here we're going to import. We're going to say RAFCE. I'm going to say type writer effect. Okay. Okay, guys. So once we do our typewriter effect, what we're just going to do, we're just going to say text speed and get those two prop items. I'm going to say constant displayed text, right? And then we're going to say set displayed text equals to use state. Okay, so after that, we're going to say use effects. Okay. So now we have to All right, so perfect. Okay, so we have our typewriter effect made now. Now we can work on our card components. Okay, so we get all these things in our props, and we also need to import motion. Okay, so that's good. Here we're going to delete this. Say div. So we're going to say flex. Oh, we're going to say gap 10. Margin top and bottom 10. Say border 2. I'm going to say border should be white. I'm going to say the padding should be 10. It should have a shadow of EDCF. Okay, then it should have a shadow of 2XL, then rounded TR. The top right should be rounded 3XL, then we say rounded. Bottom left should be 3XL as well. Then we're saying background should be black, and the background opacity should be 50, and the padding should be 12. We have the padding to be 10 and the padding to be 12, so I think we should need to remove this. All right, so that's perfect. Then now, so motion image. We're going to say initial. Then we're going to say animate. Okay, perfect. I'm going to close this so I can work with it better. Then we're going to say transition duration 1.5 is out delay 0.5. So we're going to set the height to be 150 px. Okay. Now we're going to see span. I'm going to say H2. Okay, so we've done the title. I'm going to say break. Then we're going to say is in view. Then we're going to use it type writer effects, the text to be the description, and then the speed should be the speed. Okay. So after this, we're going to say either that or no. Okay, so we have an issue here. All right, so we have this set up now. So this looks good. So we're done with our card, we're done with our typewriter effects. So in our section 2 now is just to call it on so that we can actually use it. So here we're going to see card. Okay, the title. Let's go to their site. Copy. Before we do that, description. Yeah, we'll say URL. It's in view. Speed. Let's copy this 5 times. This title here. Then here I'm going to copy this. Then the URL is this image over here. And the speed, I'm going to do 25. I'll increase it like so that the first one finishes first, followed by the second one, and the third one, and the fifth one, and the fourth one. Okay, so now the next one, get some material. Okay, so get some material. Description. So we don't need the fifth one after all. So the description. And then the title. Okay, so we've done this. Let's see how it's looking. Section 2, app, section 1. Okay, so we can see the first one is like finishing first, followed by the second one, and then the third one before the last one. So you can see how neat this is. So if I go out of view and come back, it starts all over from the beginning. And I think it looks absolutely brilliant. What do you guys think? Absolutely brilliant, right? All right, so we're done with that section. Now we have this section. Can I open this section? Okay, all right. So now this section. How do we do this section? This is Uniswap frame. It's like a widget. So what we can do, we can just go to Uniswap iframe widget. So let's prepare the code for it. So come down here. Let me see class name. Say flex. Then have a div here, and then we have another div. And this time, we need opacity. Okay, let's copy this. Okay, so we're going to say change this to x 100 x 100. Duration should just be 1. Linear 0.5. Okay, perfect. So inside here, we're going to have an image. This is going to be the image. Okay. Then we're going to say alt section 3. There's a width. I was thinking, I was like 100,000 px. Let's just do 100%. Then let's get the iframe integration. I think this is it. This is it, right? Did this work? Alright, so let's copy this and integrate it here. Then we're just going to copy this, cancel that. So border 0. We need to edit this to work with JSX. Margin bottom can be like this. Okay. Block. Radius. No. Width. Okay. And this. Okay. So okay. So perfect. This is working well. But like space doesn't work. So what we're going to do, we're just going to tell here. We're going to tell here to the class name flex1. And we're also going to tell here to class name flex1. Okay. Okay, so we're going to say this flex1, and have them share. Perfect. So let's reload this. All right, so it's looking good. So let's go to the next section over here. Okay. So we're going to come here. I'm going to come here. Close this, close this, close this, and close this. So we're going to create a new component. Section 3. Right. So we're going to say REFCE. Okay, this is going to be section 3, right? So we'll still need to use this. Come here, copy this. Okay, so ref. All right, perfect. So now let's start styling. So we're saying class name, Max Suite 6XL MX Auto. Okay, perfect. Then we're going to see H2 class name, text center. Okay, then text 6XL, margin top 24. And here we're just going to copy this. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm going to say div class name. I'll say flex row. Then we're going to say margin y 20. Then we're going to say div class name flex1 justify center 2 class name text 3XL text center font mono. Okay, so here I'm going to copy BR. Okay, so all right, so this is okay. So now we're going to go down and see div class name margin y 10, border white P5, shadow E1 ED CF. Shadow to XX rounded top right 3XL, on the BL 3XL, BG black, BG opacity 12. Okay, so here now we're going to say span. Okay, so we're going to copy this. And we're going to copy this. And then before we put that, we're going to say 2 break lines. Okay, then we're going to see our code to see how it's looking. Okay, we've not shown this part. So we're going to say section 3. Okay. Okay, so our token supply is showing neatly, just like we want. Now we need to do the image. Okay. So span div. So here we're going to see I'm going to go to previous here and copy this. Okay, so now we're going to see I'm going to copy this image. Then we're going to say class name, width 70% MX auto. Okay, so let's look at it right now. Let's check it out. I actually prefer this design to the AO because this write-up is like very small. So I think like this one looking like this looks much better. Okay, so let's go to our next section. Okay, the roadmap. Also, we're going to work on this text. Let's just finish the write-up. Okay, font mono. Okay, so the next section, this roadmap here. So we're gonna close this and create new. I'm gonna say. Okay, so over here, we're just going to copy the previous things from this one. Then I'm going to put this one. Okay, so now we're going to see ref. Okay, so we're going to come back here and we're going to copy this animation. Just gonna paste it here, and instead of this, we're going to say minus. Okay, so here we're going to do the first image. Okay, so the first image is this. Okay, so now we're going to the next one. So rounded top right, 3XL. BG black, BG opacity 50, padding 12, and then text center. Okay, so we have the span. Next one. So if we go here, copy this. Okay. So we're going to just copy this and paste it here. Okay, we can copy the closing. Okay. So here we're going to see move the minus for it to be positive, and then we're going to go and take this. I'm going to put it here. Okay, so we're going to check if we've imported this section or we've not. Okay, so section 4. All right. So beautiful. But I think we can play around with this, can't we? If we see x100, but we can see y minus y minus 138. Then here we can see we can copy this, right? And say this and change this to y and change this to minus 138. Let's try this and see. So transition, what if we say let's go to from motion sites. They have their animate to be spring. I don't know use spring. Okay, let's see animation animate X. Okay, so I think maybe we can play around with some of this and see rotate. Okay, let's see what this gives us. I like that. Don't you guys think that's nice? Nice. So I think we're going to add this. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to make it. So I'm going to copy this and add it to this. Okay, with the Y as well. And this to this. To just give it like a wild. Hold on. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. All right. So now that we're done with this section, let's go to the last section. But our text is looking small. That's one thing I was noticing. All right, so let's work on the footer, the last part of the. Okay, so let's create a new element out there here. Say footer.js. Okay. Copying this and placing it with this. Okay. So after that, we're just going to create a p tag. Uh, Class name, hidden. Okay. So if we go to app here, slider, we can now say footer. Okay. So let's look at ours. Wow. 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 Just look at the awesome animations we have in ours. You know, it looks good. It's so clean. You can see the bouncing. We can see the slider here. You can see the animations all looking neat. You can see how this one drops down. The typewriter effect. You can see this one. You can see this. Wow. So the site is absolutely brilliant. Um, if you were able to follow me to the end of this video, so much thanks, so much love. Please make sure you like and you subscribe. What am I saying? I'm sure you're subscribed. I'm sure you've liked. And if you want some other meme coin websites to be done, please just make comments in the on the video, and I will like get to them. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.